everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sari and this is day 11 of my Christmas countdown. And today's pattern is the Poila pullover that you can see me wearing. So each day of this little countdown I've been highlighting one of my favorite patterns, and that pattern that I've been highlighting has been discounted with a 24% discount both on Ravelry as well as in my Shopify shop on sarinodlund.com. And you don't need any code for the discount, but the discount is only valid until tomorrow, so that is December 12th, end of the day Helsinki time. So today's pattern is the POHJOLA pullover, and it's knitted top down with this beautiful circular color yoke. It's knitted in 3 different colors, or you could use more colors if you want. So I use this mustardy caramel color for the base color, and then there's this off-white and kind of like dusty grayish pink. The yarn that I used for this one was from a Finnish yarn shop called Kässäkerho. That this was their own in-house yarn, and it's 100% Finnish wool, so it was called Suoma Single. And that yarn is unfortunately discontinued, but you could knit this in any fingering weight yarn. I would maybe go for a bit more rustic yarn rather than something super slinky like superwash Merino, so that the pattern shows better. But anyway, you can use any fingering weight yarn in 3 or more colors for your sweater. So this also has kind of like these pearl stitches every here and there. You can see some of them over here, so they add a bit of texture for the pattern. And this is mostly knitted with just 2 colors at a time, but there are some places where you have to knit with 3 colors at a time. This pattern was originally published in my first book, so some of you might know that I have already put out 2 knitting books, but the first one came only out in Finnish, so it was this one. So unfortunately for my international followers, this book is only in Finnish, and I think it's out of print at this time. And just find, so it's over here, you can see it there, and then we had it in another colorway. It was a black and white. Let me just find you the photo. So it's this one over here, so it's in different colors. So the pattern was only in Finnish, and last year I took the time to translate the pattern into English, and we did another test knit of it, and then I released the pattern about a year ago. The new pattern also has an option to include color work for the cuffs, so this one has like single color on the body and the cuffs, but the pattern that you see on Ravelry has options for both, so you can either do it in single color or you can add some color work to the cuffs as well. And after the pattern came out, we hosted a little knit along, so I started a second POHJOLA pullover at that time, and I totally forgot about it. So when I started to film this video, then I realized, oh my god, I was knitting a second POHJOLA pullover and I totally forgot about it. So I worked on it last spring, and then summer came and I was all about summer knits, and I didn't want to knit with anything with rustic yarn or long sleeves, so I totally forgot about it, and it's here. Let me just show it to you. So this is the second POHJOLA pullover, and I'm so close to being done, so I have almost done the body. So I think I should make maybe 5 more centimeters to the body, then the ribbing and the sleeves. So I don't even have that much left to do of this sweater, so I don't know why I forgot about it. I have to take it back on my needles and just continue it. And these yarns are from Sandnes yarn, and it's beautiful, like this olive green over here, and then pink and gray, so it looks a bit different than the one that I'm wearing. It's kind of like the same, but still a bit different. So these are a lot warmer colors than this one. Here you can probably see better the color difference between these two sweaters. And for this one I was planning to make the color sleeves, also the colors to the cup. Let me just take out the yarn. I have it here. So this is the yarn that I was using. It's Sandnes Yarn Company's Sunday Morning 4-ply, and this is the colorway Staycation, and it's a beautiful BFL Masham mix. So I will take this back on my needles, or actually I even have my needles over here. I didn't even take the needles off. This was just left in my whip basket for the summer, and now I picked it up again. So I'm just going to finish knitting this one. Let's see if I can finish all my whips before the end of the year. I will show you a few after talking about this sweater a bit more. But I have the bad habit of casting on new things at least as quickly as I bind them off. So every time I bind off something new jumps on my needles. So I have quite a lot of projects on my needles at the moment. But I have finished the Ebba pullover because I released the pattern, of course. And I have finished my Stars Hollow pullover. It's blocking at the moment, so I will show it to you soon in another video. So I have a few things of my needles, and I'll show you a couple of more things that I have over here, so you can see that I am actually making some progress with my whips and not just casting on new things. But yeah, I have to finish this one, and then I will show it to you because it's going to be beautiful. I know it's going to be beautiful. Just forgot about it. That happens sometimes. The name POHJOLA, it's a Finnish word. It means the Northlands. Pohjoinen means the north, and Pohjola, it's like the Northlands. And it's kind of like this epic northern part of Finland in our folklore called Kalevala. So that's how it got its name. I was inspired the Auroras for this color work. And like I said, it's worked top down in fingering weight yarn. And the pattern is now discounted minus 24% until tomorrow. So if you like it, now is your time to grab a copy. But yeah, speaking of knitting books and knit alongs, I wanted to show you some things that I have on my needles. So I talked about having a knit along for my second book. So this is the one that is also in English. This is the Finnish copy of the book. The English one looks exactly the same. It's called Softly Timeless Knits. I just gave away my last English copy, so I'm left with this Finnish copy before I get more copies from my publisher. But this is my book. And like I said, it's also out in English. You can either order it through my publisher if you don't have a copy yet, or Google the name Softly Timeless Knits and where you live. There are a lot of local yarn shops that carry my book, so you can get a local stockist, so you don't have to ship it all the way from Finland, especially if you live overseas. But yeah, we've been having a little knit along from the book, and I have casted on two things. I want to show you what I've been making from the book. The first one that I have on my needles is the Apollonis pullover. So all the patterns in the book were named after Greek muses. So this is named after Apollonis, and it looks like this. So I have finished the first sleeve here, and I'm almost halfway done with the second sleeve as well, so I'm going to have this one finished by the end of the week. Like I said, I have made some progress on things and I'm getting things ready, not just casting on new things. So the Apollonis pullover in my book, just find it for you. It's this one over here, and this was knitted in bulky weight yarn. So the white one that I'm wearing in this photo is knitted with Derero Natural Cyrano, and then we have a second sample over here, and this is knitted with Woolfolk Fletted Bulky, so it's a pretty buckly yarn. But I wanted to make a more lightweight version because I know that I get more wear from a slightly more lightweight version of that sweater. So I recalculated all the stitches, did the math again and adjusted for a different gauge. All the details of this sweater are the same as in the book. So it has the rolling neckband followed by the ribbing. It has the same circular yoke that you can see over here, and it has the same dramatic sleeve shape. So it's the sleeves are straight until you reach almost the cuff over here, and then there's like this dramatic line of decreases on top of the sleeve to create like a really nice texture for the sleeve. And I use that same sleeve shape in my all-time favorite pullover, the Hula pullover that I've been talking about a lot. It's the one that I wear the most. So this has the same sleeve shape as the Hula pullover, so I know that I'm going to love it. So it has a bit of like a relaxed fit, and I love this color. It's so beautiful. It's my favorite color at the moment. It's like a total color obsession. It's knitting for Olive's Merino and their soft silk mohair. The colorway is called Bordeaux, and like you see, I'm working on the second sleeve. And if you're interested in test knitting for me, I'm going to post the call for test knitters for this one, as well as the Meredith Grey pullover that I'm going to show you soon, in my Instagram stories. So if you want to test knit for me, now's your chance. There's going to be a Google form link in my Instagram stories to test knit this one. So I'm going to release the pattern for this lightweight Apollonis, but I want to have it tested because the math has changed, so I want it to be test knitted as well. So this is the Apollonis pullover, or Apollonis light pullover, and the original Apollonis pullover pattern is in my book Softly Timeless Knits. And then I cast it on a second thing from the book, and it's the Mneme beanie, and it is this one. So it's a very basic beanie, and I wanted to have something in the book that uses leftover yarn. So this one is knitted with one strand of DK weight yarn. I used a Sandnes Garn Double Sunday, and it's actually the leftovers from this sweater over here that you can see. So this has the same yarn, and I used the leftover skeins for the hat, this one, and it also has 3 different colors of mohair. So if you have some leftover balls of mohair, you can combine it with a strand of DK weight yarn. So it's knitted with 4 strands of yarn, 1 DK and 3 mohairs. But like I said, I like doing things a bit differently, so I don't really like doing the same thing over and over again. So that's why I cast it on the second beanie, but I'm using a slightly different kind of like yarn combination for this one. As you can see, I'm still working with 4 different strands of yarn, but the thickest yarn is this one. This is the Sandnes Garn Ballerina Chunky Mohair. So I wanted to try out, this is the new yarn from them, so I wanted to try that one out. So I'm using this instead of the DK weight yarn, and then I'm combining it with 2 strands of Filcolana Alva. These are kind of like a very light fingering weight, or even it's even lace weight, I don't know, but it's 100% alpaca. And then I have, this is Knitting for Olives soft silk mohair. This is the colorway Unicorn Purple. So this is the total combination of yarns that I'm using for this one, and I really like this. I was going for this kind of like frosty earth color combination, so it has this kind of like brown and beige speckles every here and there, and then kind of like this cool purple. In addition to that, in my book I wanted to use mostly undyed or like very light colorways. It's mostly just off-white, beige, grey, so it's been fun to make the patterns with a bit of color and see how they look like. I'm still going to cast on one more thing. I have yarn ready for the Apollonis top. It's this one, so that's kind of like a razorback cable. This is the back view, so it's a very simple cable pattern, and I'm going to do a slight modification on it. So instead of having this short neck that you can see over here, I'm going to do a full turtleneck instead. So it's going to be something that I can wear under a blazer or a cardigan or something like that in the winter. So that's my last plan to knit from the book for the knit along. And I mentioned the Meredith Grey pullover. You can see it here. I just finished the second sleeve this morning and went back to working on the body. So this is the second pattern that I'm calling for test knitters at the moment in my Instagram stories. So if you're interested in test knitting either this one or the Apollonis light pullover, head over to my Instagram stories for the Google Forms link where I call for test knitters. So this has a raglan construction. It's knitted top down, as you can see, and has this Japanese lace pattern on the front and the back, as well as on the sleeves. This is not like a beginner friendly pattern. This is a bit more complicated because until you join the neck at the front, you're going to knit it flat, and this lace pattern requires you to work the lace both on front and back of the pattern. So it's not a beginner pattern, but I would call it intermediate. So if you're comfortable with following charts, then you're okay with that, but it needs a bit more attention than your regular lace pattern. I'm using Le Garcons yarn for this one. It's their British DK, and the colorway is called Meredith Grey. That's where the name for the sweater came from, so it's the Meredith Grey pullover. Another reason for this name is that I got the yarn when I was in Flock Fiber Festival this August, and Flock is at Seattle, and of course Meredith or Grey's Anatomy, where Meredith Grey is one of the main characters. Grey's Anatomy is filmed in like this imaginary hospital in Seattle called Seattle Grey, so it has many links to Seattle, and the yarn colorway name was Meredith Grey, so that's why it's called Meredith Grey pullover. So you can see it here. So Meredith Grey pullover and Apollonis light pullover are ready for test knitting. If you're interested in that, head over to my Instagram stories. And today's highlighted pattern was the POHJOLA pullover, and you could get that with the 24% discount until tomorrow. I will link the pattern below this video, so you can easily check that out, as well as the yarn names that I mentioned for the other patterns in the making, and I will also link my book below this video if you want to check that out as well. So that's everything for today's video, and tomorrow I have something new to show you, so I'll see you then. Bye!